Hey YouTube, what's going on here? My name is Josh, and this is a review of my 2013 Giant Roam 2. I got this bike for Christmas of 2012. It's been a pretty awesome bike. I've done a lot of stuff to it since then. I ride it mostly on stuff like this. Maybe some of you guys are familiar with, well, a lot of people are familiar with this, canal towpath. This is in Brunswick, Maryland, or around there, around mile 57 on the towpath. Anyway, it's a 2013 Giant Roam 2, and you can see I got some upgrades on here, well, quite a bit actually. This bike I've put, let's see, since 2013, I have put, come on, 12,328 miles on this bike. And the original stuff it came with is pretty good, but I've done upgrades. I go camping and whatnot along the trail on here, so that's what the rack is for. I usually use that to put my tent on. That is a Old Man Mountain Pioneer rack, and I think it's supposed to hold like 60 pounds. The only thing original on this bike still is the frame, obviously, the handlebar, the two smaller chain rings here. This one I've changed, the big one, because I wore the other one out. I upgraded the mechs, or shifters. In England they call them mechs, but this is a Shimano Dior. The original one it came with was, Acera components. I wanted to do XT for the front, but I couldn't find, or the shop that I deal with, they only deal with new, like the current stuff, so they couldn't get me an XT front mech, but whatever, it's no big deal. The rear, we got a Shimano M772 Shadow Dior XT rear mech. The original one was an Acera also, but the spring went bad in here to adjust the, keep tension on the chain. It's got a Shimano SLX CSHG 80 cassette, Mavic or Mavic, however you pronounce them, 719 disc, 29er wheels, well, rear wheel, and Shimano Dior M525A rear hub. Got the Dior XT M785 brakes, which are total overkill on a hybrid. And can't forget the Thompson Elite seat post, which is overkill. Maybe I should put that on my Anthem and put the one that's on the Anthem on here, because that would be more appropriate. The tires, these things are awesome, man. Schwalbe Mondial Marathons. I did have the Schwalbe or Schwalbe Marathon Plus tires, but those things had like all kinds of rolling resistance, man. They sucked, and they're super heavy. I mean, if you're riding like in a city or like urban places like that, they're probably great. Because they had inside the middle right here was a 5mm thick piece of rubber where you could stick thumbtacks all around the tire and it still wouldn't go flat. But I had a set of these on here before and they were awesome. I didn't have any problems with them, so I returned them back at the shop and got what's on here now. Reordered them. There's the XT brakes. The pedal arms or crank arms, whatever you want to call them, those are original. These are Shimano PD 520 pedals, clip pedals. Those things got about 12,000 miles on them. And in the fork, the original one was a SR Suntour. It was kind of a piece. I mean, it works fine, but I mean, it's cheap. It's not an actual hydraulic fork. This one is. It's also an air fork, which is pretty sweet. This is a RockShox XC32, which again is probably overkill for a hybrid, but I wanted an air fork because what happened on the original one, the water got down between the seal here and inside, and the stanchions would rust, and the thing got all seized up. So I took the lowers off and cleaned it up, sanded the rust off and stuff, and put it back together, and it worked, but not as good as when it was new. And I had to keep doing that. And after like the third time of doing it, I got disgusted and went to the shop and asked them if I can put another fork on here. The headset, come on, focus. Come on. I got a Cane Creek 40 headset on here. The original headset was getting all rough and it wasn't smooth when you turned the handlebars, and I took the thing apart and tried servicing it, but the bearings were all gone. Changed out the bottom bracket. That thing, this one has like 7,000 miles on it, maybe. The original one went bad after like 5,000. We got the XT front brakes with 180mm front rotor, which again is probably overkill. Oh, the front wheel is a Mavic TN or XM 319 disc. The original wheel, the wheel was fine, but the hub, the bearings were super rough after all those many miles. And I took them apart and tried to service them, but I guess the cups and cones were shot, so my buddy at one of the shops was saying, hey, just get a new wheel, so ended up doing that, and that thing's tip-top. The rear rack is a Toe Peak Super Tourist, and I ended up putting that on here because I think I kept popping spokes because my old rack didn't have this piece. It kind of more just went like this, so the bags would flop when I used to use saddle bags, and I would think they'd hit the spokes and the spokes would break, and I got tired of keep taking the thing to the shop and having them replace spokes and whatnot. So got that wheel and haven't had that problem anymore unless you do something stupid. The wheels are total overkill for it. For a hybrid, at least. These 719s. The shop that I go to in Germantown Cycles, that's where this bike came from. I've seen this same wheel on like $4,000, $5,000 Santa Cruzes. And I don't know what the front one would come on. But yeah, if you guys want a sweet hybrid, one of these things is pretty sweet. You don't have to do all the crazy upgrades I've done to it. But don't like running cheap junk. Yeah, anyway, y'all have a good day.